Operation Pinkeye is a must-play hidden gem indie first-person shooter that was clearly inspired by games like Goldeneye and Perfect Dark. Developed and published by Stormplay in 2022, this game can currently be acquired for $7 on Zoom platform, and it is well worth every penny. Now, this is a shorter title, in which the main story can be finished in 2 to 3 hours, but this is largely a one-man indie project, with 1/10 of the price of most modern AAA games. And for me personally, I really enjoy short games, so if you like shorter titles, or if you just want something that you can maybe knock out in one evening, this is a game to consider. As for the gameplay, Operation Pinkeye has 14 levels, which are mostly pretty different, so that the game never gets stale. On one level, you might be trying to sneak around a military base to gather intel, or in another level, you might have to chase a baddie through a building, and that level ends in a boss fight. The point is, the devs made sure that you never got bored by doing the same objective over and over again. As for combat, this title has a huge arsenal of weapons. Way more than I expected, to be honest. You have a quiet crossbow, silenced pistols, which you can dual wield, a machine gun, a quote SMG, an Uzi, a grenade launcher, a shotgun, my personal favorite, and a few other guns as well. Now, for enemy variety, most baddies are humans, with their only difference being cosmetics, but there are unmanned turrets in a couple of levels, and the final boss fight sees you taking down a helicopter. So not a ton of enemy variety, but this game is not something like Killing Floor, where you need half a dozen different enemies, so it works out okay. And after you defeat your opponents, they can drop ammo for you, and medical items, being medkits and armor packs, can usually just be found lying around, and you will need them, as this title does not have regenerating HP. You also have grenades, which were fun to use. As a bit of a final note for combat, some levels will have civilians present, and shooting them by accident will damage your HP, so watch your aim. But thankfully, most levels were civilian free, so you don't have to worry about hitting them too often. As for the story, I couldn't really get into it, but it seemed decent enough, being a story where you play as a member of the Scottish Secret Service, investigating claims that England is trying to take over Scotland, in an alternate world in which the 1707 Acts of Union had never taken place. I honestly had never heard of this before, but according to Wikipedia, it basically formed Scotland and England into one government, with England ruling over Scotland in a nutshell. Now, the story is told through cutscenes, dialogue in the levels, and briefing notes that you get before a mission, and there were a couple moments that I did not see coming. Although I will say that sometimes dialogue lines did not match the subtitles, which was annoying. Also, you can sometimes find computers in the levels, which you can access to gain some additional info, but they appeared to be in Scottish, so I didn't really mess with these. And much to my surprise, the Scots actually have their own languages. They're not widely used from what I read, but they do have their own native tongues. I thought they only spoke in English, so I guess I have to give this game credit for helping me learn a bit more about Europe. Graphically, this game obviously went for a retro look, which turned out great in my opinion, and the soundtrack was pretty solid, and it can be purchased apart from the game on Zoom platform for $3.99. Performance-wise, this title mostly ran well, although the final level was a bit glitchy. Like, once I died during the final boss, and I could not respawn from my last checkpoint, and I instead had to to restart the whole level. Another time in that same level, I was chasing one of the main villains leading up to the final boss, and he glitched out and got stuck on a door. And on one occasion, same level, I paused my game and I could not unpause it. Basically, I hit pause and the pause screen came up. But when I would exit the pause menu, I'd get to play for half a second before the game would pause itself, and this went on for a couple of minutes before I restarted the level. But other than that final level being iffy, this title mostly ran well, although there was a bit of lag on the odd occasion. As far as replay value, this game gives you a couple bonus levels to mess around with, which was pretty neat. Now, as a couple final notes before I give this game its final grade. 1. This title does have controller support, but it's super clunky and I don't recommend it. 2. Your weapons aren't hotkeyed to the number keys, and you have to scroll through your entire arsenal to get the gun that you want, which could be annoying during a firefight. And this could have been fixed by giving your gun shortcut hotkeys. All things said, even with its flaws, Operation Pinkeye is a pretty fun indie shooter that I give a 9 out of 10 by my grade scale. If the level 14 glitches weren't present and there were weapon hotkeys, I'd give this title a higher score, but it's still worth a go nonetheless. As far as a similar game I could recommend, I would say the original Perfect Dark, which can be easily played on modern Xbox consoles via backwards compatibility, as it did receive a Xbox 360 port for those who don't know, and that's how I played it. Well, that's all from me for now, folks. Thanks for watching and for putting up with my bad voice. It does mean a lot. For those new here, I mostly review and discuss Xbox 360 games, so feel free to sub if that sounds interesting. But I sometimes cover other devices, like today. As for our Bible verse of today, I read John 10:11 NIV. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. And like always, none of my vids are made by fake intelligence. Keep YouTube human and only watch man-made vids. And I never consent for my voice and likeness to be copied and altered by robots in any way. God loves you all. Never forget that. Take care. Peace.